Welcome to Revolutionize Your Marketing. This is a production of the World of Ability Podcast Network, and your host, John Petros Sr. with Mill City Marketing, is here to give you all the insights and often having some of the best guests interviewed here on Fridays at 4 p.m. Central. John Petros Sr. is with Mill City Marketing, and you are in the right place at the right time because it's time to revolutionize your marketing. John, over to you.
Thank you, Sue, and thanks for that great introduction, as always. Welcome, folks, to Revolutionize Your Marketing. I'm your host, John Petros Sr., owner of Mill City Marketing, MA. Like Sue said, I usually have guests on the show. Tonight, I'm going to do a little talking about me. Uh, those of you who watch all the time see me and don't know that much about me. Well, tonight it's my turn to be my own guest. We'll put it that way. Um, I started marketing in a very unique way to get into it. It's a pretty interesting story how it came about. Um, I used to work for the local newspaper, got laid off a while back with budget cuts, and took some took a few years off doing nothing, enjoying being free for a change from I can't say 9 to 5 job because it wasn't really 9 to 5 in the newspaper field. Um, but I was enjoying myself, taking time off, enjoying life for a change. And a few years back, me and my wife took a cruise from Boston to Bermuda, a week-long cruise. We had young twins with us, so we had to get a two-bedroom suite on a cruise ship. And let me tell you, folks, once you get a suite on a cruise ship, you get spoiled with all the extras that come along with it, including a butler service 24/7. Pick up the phone, dial a number, and tell them what you want, and it gets delivered to your cabin. But yeah, I enjoyed it so much. I wanted to help other people enjoy vacations, so I became a travel agent. Hooked up with an international host company. They gave me a website, back office, kept specials up to date and everything. I figured, hey, that's great. I'll be getting clients in through them. Let me tell you, didn't happen that way. Not a one. I heard people putting ads on Facebook. I said, well, how difficult can it be? So, not knowing anything about it, I fudged my way through it and put a couple of ads out. Got a couple of clients, but nothing really paid off. And it wasn't really a good time to start being a travel agent because COVID hit. We all know what happened with travel industry during COVID. Um, so kind of like put that on the back burner. And right after COVID, I bumped into a guy online who was teaching marketing. So I figured, hey, I'm going to be doing marketing. I might as well learn from somebody who knows what they're doing. The guy, this guy's from San Diego. He's in marketing for 15 years at that time. And he had a 16-week online course on marketing. He, he was making it into a certification course. So I took his course. Um, it was all online, him on the West Coast, me on the East Coast, of course. Couldn't go in studio for the class. So, and he had some large businesses that he was doing marketing for, like Procter and Gamble, Orange Theory Fitness, just to name a few. He had a bunch of those. So he had pretty good business going, knew what he was doing to get companies like that. And so I took his course and graduation. I had to fly out to San Diego for graduation, and he rented Padre Stadium out there for the entire day. That's how big his business was. Right now, he's got over 300,000 students in 75 countries. So, yeah, I think I learned marketing from one of the best. A couple of years back, he started incorporating AI into it. So, I went and took this course again. Um, so that's how I actually got into marketing. Uh, I started putting all my time into marketing. Um, I'll help any type of business, any size business. I like working with the smaller businesses because number one, they're the ones get hit the hardest by COVID. Around here, I've seen too many of them not even come back. Some of them that didn't couldn't last because they couldn't get their customer base back. Um, and there's a lot of new ones popping up. So my ultimate goal is helping smaller businesses. And a lot of them can't afford the prices that most markets charge nowadays. So I'm willing to work with whatever their budget is. It's a small budget. I'll research what they're doing, find out where they need the help the most, and start there. As the business grows, they can afford to put more into marketing, then we'll do more. But it's my way of giving back. I mean, this country was founded on small businesses, um, independent entrepreneurs. And if it wasn't for small business back then, this country wouldn't be where it is now. Not saying that big companies are bad, they're not, but they all had to start off somewhere, and they all start off small. The more they put into the company, the bigger they can grow. Like some of these large corporations now, they all had to start somewhere, and you don't start off big, start off small. So that's my whole purpose of doing marketing. And I, my daughter, believe it or not, introduced me to a platform called Alignable. Alignable's got like, I'd say around 9 million businesses throughout the US and Canada. It's pretty much a networking platform for business. So my daughter introduced me to it about a little over 2 years ago. And since then, I've made just over 1,600 connections in 2 years. So if I have a business that needs something else needs help with something else besides marketing, I guarantee I've got a couple people to connect them with that can help them out. So I'm kind of like a one-stop shop for businesses, which is my website is millcitybusinesshelp.com. And business has one S at the end. I wasn't paying attention when I typed it in. But that's basically how I got into marketing. And from the platform of Alignable, I keep telling people that are on Alignable, businesses, that, hey, you never know where a connection is going to lead, which holds true in any business of any type. In fact, this podcast, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a connection, a client that I was helping in down in North Carolina who was starting up a nonprofit and had some marketing questions. So when I met her, she was doing a podcast right here on the same network. And I think at one point she kind of got a little depressed. It wasn't growing like she had hoped. So for 3 weeks, she didn't show up for the podcast. So my buddy that runs this network that I'm on the third week, he goes to me and goes, John, have you ever thought of doing a podcast? I said, well, I've been thinking about it. Why? He goes, good. You want to start now? Yeah, that's right, folks. 10 minutes after he asked me that question was my first podcast. I've been doing it every week since. Most of my guests come from Alignable, and we talk about whatever it is they do, and everything ties into marketing. That's how I got to where I am today. I've done a couple of book reviews for people from Alignable. Um, and another thing I do is back in December, I became an ambassador for Alignable. So now besides podcast and networking on Alignable, I also do an in-person networking for local businesses in this area. And in a year's time, I built that up. Actually, not even a year. Um, my first one was in January, so it didn't even been a full year yet. And I've already built that up to over 200 members. And just yesterday, I have a co-ambassador up here who helps me out. He does on Alignable what they call a Smart Connect. It's another networking thing that they do. Um, when you get we you'll break off into breakout rooms to do one-on-ones with other businesses from across the country and Canada. So you never know who you're going to get put in with. Um, that's one way to do marketing if you're a business owner. If you're a business owner and you're not on the line of them, you should be. It's a great place. Meet a lot of people that can probably help you out in business and refer clients to you. You can refer clients to them. That's what built Alignable up to what it is today. And I lost track of what I was saying. That's what happens when you just ramble on and on. But yeah, so it's only been maybe 8, 9 months. I've been doing in-persons once a month. My co-ambassador does what they call Smart Connect. He does that, and I do the in-person ones. And I've come up with a new concept that I started on Alignable, and it's starting to catch on. The in-persons is set up for local businesses to meet other local businesses and maybe work together. I've had a couple already in my alliance up here that um, have teamed up and they're working together on projects. Um, so that's how they can expand their business also. And I've it's I pick one I get one person to volunteer every month to speak about what they do, their business, and promote their business to the other members who show up. And I came up with this idea that, okay, that's great, but how do we bring more knowledge to these local independent businesses? So I've decided every couple of months, every 3, maybe 4 months, I'll bring somebody in from Alignable who's had multiple businesses, who's been on Alignable for years and has more knowledge. Bring them in and let them do a presentation. Bring them in on a Zoom call and let them do a presentation. And so far, it's gone over pretty well. And a couple of ambassadors are picking in up to do the same thing with their inputs. Um, so there's always new stuff coming out on the lineup, even if people like me started myself. But that's what makes businesses grow. You can't really grow a business just referring on your customers spreading the word. You need to get the word out about your business. And how do you do that? By marketing. And there's a lot of different ways to do marketing. A couple is paid ads on social media platforms, which is one of the things that I can do. Another thing that I can do is a couple of months back, I got approved to do 30-second video commercials on live stream TV, like Disney Plus, Hulu, and all of Paramount's. Um, I think I'm on the verge of getting access to Roku as as well. So yeah, I'm kind of spreading myself out in different aspects, but everything's available to my clients that I get. Depending on how much their budget is, depends on how much we can start off with. Uh, I've got a couple of businesses that I've been working with, and I've got a couple more that I think I'm going to be getting. Um, if I can do the work for them, the advertising and the marketing for them, or I can help them and show them how to do it if they want to try and do it on their own and see how it goes. Uh, I'm doing a lot with AI now, artificial intelligence. My co-ambassador up here does marketing strategies. So I have him behind me too. And him and his team develop a lot of AI programs. They just came up with a program. that he's just starting to release that helps people on Alignable that have a so alignable page for their business. It analyzes it and makes it better. He just released a platform, you might say, um, everything that you need to do marketing, and it's entirely, completely AI. Everything you need. You just click on the tab on what you want to do, put a little bit of information in, and presto, AI takes care of the rest. Um, so that's the way marketing is going nowadays. Um, as far as book promotions, I've got a gentleman that's going to be coming in. He's been on my podcast before. If you want to check out my previous podcast, simply go to YouTube, type in Mill City Marketing, MA, and my podcast will come up. I was just looking at it earlier today, and the views on my podcast have increased. My subscriber rate is increasing. If you go onto my YouTube channel, please just um, subscribe to my channel, like my channel. Any comments, you're welcome to put them in, good or bad. I prefer the good ones, of course. But um, that, the other thing I have going on is I'm in the middle of working on a book. A lot of people on Alignable end up writing books about what they do. Mine is going to be on customer acquisition. I don't have a date yet as to when it might be possibly coming out. It's been kind of a slow process with everything I have going on. One of the gentlemen that's been on my podcast will be going to be coming in to a Zoom call on one of my in-person that comes up in November. Let's see if I can get this to focus in right. This gentleman here. Can't get the book to focus in right. His book here, his name is Jeffrey Kent. This book he put together came out a couple of months ago. I had him on my podcast 2 weeks after his book came out, and he's going to be coming in on a Zoom call to do my in-person in November to promote his book. Alignable is doing October 1st. They are having a book release promotion for his book. So that's another thing that Alignable's good for. Um, they get behind you and help you out to build your business too, by supporting you. This book that he did, everybody that was involved in this book, from editor all the way up, everybody, even his the person that he co-wrote it with, everybody involved in that book, editor and all, illustrator, the even the publication, all came from Alignable. So if you come on to Alignable, you aren't already, there's pretty much anything you would need help with, you can find on Alignable. If you go on to Alignable and just check it out, they have it. You can be on Alignable free of charge. But if you go onto a premium account, it's not that expensive. It's relatively cheap, I must say. And you have more access to more things that they have. Um, so that's pretty much what I'm doing. If that's not enough, then wait, there's more coming down the line. Um, Another thing that I'm trying to do is I've already got social media I do marketing on. I've got live stream that I can do marketing on. What's left? You got it. Radio. I'm working on trying to work something out with one of the biggest radio networks in the country, uh, as far as advertising goes. And maybe, just maybe, even my podcast on radio. And my podcast may soon be put on some small TV stations as well. These are all things that I'm in the process of working on. So listening to this podcast today or the recording, you're getting more information than people I network with right now. Um, and Alignable does some fun stuff too. Beginning of the year, from like mid-January to maybe mid-March for 2 months, they run a contest. Not so much as a contest as you would think. Everybody gets a certain amount of votes that they give to other businesses that support them, help them out, or if they just like what that person does, they can give them a vote anywhere in the US or Canada. And what Alignable does is they, at the end of the contest, they take the person, like I'll use myself as an example because it's easier. In 2024, I had 9 votes. I came in first in my town. They go by the town that the person is in. And the one who gets the most votes in their town or city, they get an emblem on their Alignable page. Alignable pretty much names them Alignable Business Person of the Year for, like my town would be Drake, Mass. And that stays on the page. I came in first with 9 votes in 2024. Only one came from this area. That was my daughter, who got me involved in Alignable. The other votes came from other people in the US and Canada. I got a lot more votes in 25. Uh, I was only on Alignable a few months back in when that contest came out at the beginning of 24. And with 9 votes, I never even thought I'd be in first, but I was. When I looked up the town on Alignable, my town alone had over 600 businesses listed on Alignable. Lowell, the city right next to me where I grew up, they at that time they had over 1,600 businesses listed on Alignable. And with that amount of votes that I got, it said to me, they're not that active on Alignable. So I decided, well, how can I get these businesses more active on Alignable to help them grow? So I became an ambassador. Now I've got around 200 of them between northern Mass and southern New Hampshire that are now in my alliance. That's the area that I'm an ambassador for. And they're growing by being on Alignable and using Alignable to make connections and things. That's what the platform's all about. Make connections, get referrals from other businesses that may know somebody that needs or does, that either needs or wants what you have. So, I mean, that's out of networking. It's not really networking to sell what you do. Alignable kind of frowns from it. Their main goal is to make connections, make friendships, partnerships, um, referrals from business to business. I may have a customer that I do for marketing that may need some help in something else. Well, I'll refer them to a person that can help them out. Um, like I said, with over 1,600 connections, I'm sure I got people that I can connect them to. But, anyway, that's pretty much about me, what I do. Anyone out there wants to get a hold of me, get a pen or pencil, piece of paper, and write down what I'm about to say. You want to get a hold of me, my email address is millcitymarketingma@gmail.com. Want to check out my website? It's Mill City Business with one S at the end, help.com. If you want to book a time and talk to me on a one-to-one Zoom call, go onto my calendar link. It's Calendly, C-A-N. Wait a minute. Let me try that one again. CALENDLY.com/Mill City Marketing MA. When you open that up, you'll see one tab that'll say 45-minute one-to-one Zoom chat, and the other one is for my podcast. If you want to be a guest on my podcast, feel free to pick a date, fill in the information, it'll pop up on my calendar. And I generally like to do one-on-ones with people before my podcast. That way I get to know a little bit more about them, get to know them better, and see what we're going to talk about, which is usually whatever they do, the service that they provide. So feel free to get a hold of me any one of those ways. Again, it's Mill City Marketing at ma@gmail.com for the email. My website is Mill City Business with one S, help.com, and my calendar link, CAN. It'd be good if I could spell Calendly right. CALENDLY.com/Mill City Marketing MA. Book a time and I'll be more than happy to chat. If you have any questions about marketing, any questions about Alignable, feel free to get a hold of me. You want to just chat and get to know me better? Book a time and we'll chat. That's pretty much all I have today, folks. Got things coming up on my schedule I have to get to. So thank you for viewing, and please go onto my YouTube channel, check out my other videos, like and subscribe. I'll appreciate it. Until next week, 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern, right here, same place. Come back and watch. That's all I have. Thanks for watching.